So, Proofmaxxing Pyramid, what is this all about? Well, frankly, this is the fastest way I know of to go from 0 to 10K a month creative strategist in as little as 30 days, starting from a complete beginner. All right, so buckle up, pay attention, let's get into it. You're starting off, you got no proof, and that is a problem, okay? So we're starting off at 0. The goal is to get to at least 10K a month. The problem is nobody trusts you, nobody believes you, and no one wants to work with you or hire you because you're a total beginner, which is super fair because realistically, would you want to put tens, maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars of ad spend into the hands of a total beginner to manage it and be responsible for producing results? Maybe not, right? So even with the anti-resume, it's still hard to land clients if you have absolutely zero experience, okay? So, for those of you guys know, the anti-resume no-brainer hiring kit, it is one of our core systems for landing clients on job boards specifically. So it's extremely effective at getting you into the final interview stages and getting past 200, 300 applicants to literally get to those final interview stages where you're getting interviewed with the founder, or maybe you got it on a trial or whatever it is. But if you have zero proof, zero experience, you've never done this before at all, then a lot of people fall over at the very final hurdle, which is, hey, tell me about your results. Tell me about your experience. And it's like, well, I don't got anything to show you, sorry. And it's a bit heartbreaking. Now, we have had people, to be fair, who have managed to overcome that, like Leilani, of course, landed a 12K a month trial to hire opportunity on her very first try. Cyan, Colin, both managed to get interviews with the founder on their very first try, which is pretty cool. However, we've had a lot of people get to that final stage and the almighty proof question gets the better of them. Couple ways around that. Firstly, is a simple guarantee, okay, where you can basically just say, hey, totally hear you. Because of that, that's why my offer comes with a guarantee, because I don't have 10 years of experience like other people who are applying, other veterans, who, by the way, between me and you, if they do have a ton of experience, chances are they're working with multiple clients. Okay, so if you're ever like, oh, I'm going up against agencies, I'm going up against big copywriters with tons of experience, the thing about them, especially the agencies, is they may be working with multiple clients, 3, 4, 5, 10 clients, especially the agencies. And that means their attention is spread really thin, and they're giving 10% attention to 10 different clients, right? This is why a lot of business owners hate agencies. I hate agencies. I think most agencies suck. The reason is because you join, you sign on with them, they impress you for a week, they have a great person on your account, they're very fast to communicate, all looks amazing, and then all of a sudden they hand you off to some junior rep who doesn't know what the fuck they're doing, who has 3 months of experience, and then your results go to shit, okay? And then basically you complain, and then they put a good person back on your account, and it's like this loop of frustration until eventually you end up leaving, okay? That's most agencies. So you not having any clients at all is actually quite a big selling point. You might not realize it, but to business owners who are sick of dealing clients who just take on too many clients and give subpar performance and results, if you actually just put a time, attention, effort into clients and you actually care, you should give a shit, okay, about getting them results, then that's going to go a long way. Just them having someone dedicated to their account, that's really refreshing and appealing to them. Lean on the guarantee. You just say to them, hey, I am less proven than others. That's why my service comes with a guarantee. Where if I don't manage to beat your cost per result baseline, whatever current cost per result, whatever current ROAS you're getting from your ads, your baseline performance right now, if I don't manage to beat that by at least, call it 10%, up to you, whatever you want to say, then you don't pay me. Simple. I don't deserve to get paid unless I'm making new money. Right? The whole point of all this stuff is just to reverse risk. So when you see people and they're trying to hire a creative strategist and all the job descriptions and listings and posts are saying, you need to have XYZ experience. You need to have 5 years of experience. You need to have spent at least $7 million on your ads and all this stuff. First realization you need to make is that, number one, no one actually cares about your experience. Okay? I know it's crazy, but there's a couple of realizations we need to have here. Okay? So understand, thing number one is no one cares about your experience. What they actually want and care about is your ability to produce results. The only way we have to measure that is experience. Because let's say I want someone who is a 9 out of 10 skill or above. Okay, and I'm like, I want a really good creative strategist. They need to be like a 9 out of 10. What does that even mean, a 9 out of 10? You can't measure a 9 out of 10, right? But what you can measure, that's concrete and tangible, is years of experience. That's a binary black or white. You have it or you don't, right? How many dollars have been spent on your ads? That's measurable. That's why they say these things in the job listings, in the job descriptions, because that's all they have to measure. However, what you can do with the anti-resume is you come along and you be one of zero. If you've ever been to any of my recent live trainings, the free live trainings, masterclasses, webinars, we talk a lot about this, being one of zero, being a stallion, right? And so you show up differently from everyone else. They read 67 applications, they all sound the same, and you come along and you just boom, completely different and interesting and entertaining and unique, maybe a bit funny, whatever. But the point is you completely stand out from all the other brain dead, boring resumes out there. So many people do not understand. Your job as a creative strategist is to get someone's attention, is to get the attention of your target audience, and then persuade them to take an action. That is the next step. Buy, book a call, whatever it is, okay? Yet, so many copywriters are amazing at selling other people's products and services, but as soon as it comes to selling themselves, oh my God, it's like they leave their brain at the door and they become Dr. Boring, okay? And they just start write the most beige, vanilla, utterly forgettable shit to sell themselves, right? Their LinkedIn profiles, their Upwork profiles, their website, their outreach messages, their anti-resumes, their offer docs, all of it. Upwork proposals. It's boring as batshit. Most businesses don't have a budget problem. They have a creative problem. I'm a creative strategist and I'll help you do research and ideation. Who the fuck cares? Boring. So boring. You sound like everyone else. You sound like the same generic AI sloppy written shit that everyone else writes, okay? You don't have an X problem, you have a Y problem. Blah, 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 blah. It's like, dude, think about what your actual job is as a creative strategist and then demonstrate that in your client getting efforts. Show them that you're a good creative strategist instead of telling them. I don't know why it's not common sense and extremely obvious to everyone, but this is what you guys all seem to do, and then you whinge about not being able to get clients. And it's like, herder, look in the mirror. The problem is staring you in the face. And it's you, okay? Show up differently as a pattern interrupt. Be one of zero. Write clever, compelling, entertaining copy with a really unique and interesting attention-grabbing first line. That grabs your attention, goes, oh, that's interesting. So with that said, we can get around it in the following 3 ways. So ability to produce results, well, how do we show that? Okay, well, number one is the 3 overcomes that we have to being a beginner. So the first one that I said before was you can leverage, if you're in CMB, our A-listers. So basically we call us A-lister at a discount. That's the framing. Second way is a guarantee, where you'd simply say, I'll beat your best ad or you don't pay. I will improve your results or you don't pay. Basically, I like to say at least I'll beat. So you guys just pick like a baseline. You can even maybe say by 10%, by 20%, by 30%, or you don't pay me, or like I'll keep working for free until I do, something like that. And then the third way that we're about to talk about here is how do you not be the empty restaurant anymore? You hire your friends to come on opening night, okay? So if everyone's like, oh, I don't want to eat at the empty restaurant, no one wants to eat at the empty restaurant, right? You're the empty restaurant, okay, in case the analogy is not landing. No one wants to bet on the unproven horse. You're the unproven horse. You have no experience, you have no results, you have no credentials, you have nothing really going for you, right, as a beginner. So it's like, I don't want to eat at the empty restaurant. Well, don't be the empty restaurant. Simple. And how do we do that? We use the Proofmaxxing Pyramid. So you're starting from zero. You have absolutely nothing going for you. Now, this does assume, by the way, you do have skills of being a creative strategist, okay? Nothing, obviously, can surpass that. So if you're in CMB, obviously, we're helping you with that over the 10 weeks. Other than that, I'm assuming you're taking like courses, coaching programs, investing in yourself to learn the skill. Obviously, investing a mere few $1,000s into earning a 5-figure a month skill set is an obvious no-brainer, but you need to be learning this at a high level from someone who's actively in the trenches doing this, okay? If you're legitimately a beginner in terms of your skills and like you're not learning it, then you're just a clown. Like, what are you going to even sell? Like, you need to know how to actually do it when you get a client. Otherwise, they're just going to laugh at you and then fire you and then talk shit about you to everyone, okay? So when I say beginner, I mean, you've never had a client before, but you have the actual skills, okay? Needless to say, you can't go and sell things that you can't actually deliver on. Just wanted to add that little disclaimer. So where do we start? Really, really simple, easy first rung that you can get is you're simply going to swap testimonials. Easy win. So you can basically pair up with other people in the SKOOL group, so in the CMB group or in the free Creative Strategist Collective group, make a post, partner with others, form groups of 3 or 4, and you're just going to review each other's ads, very simply. So you want to get at least like minimum 3 plus solid testimonials. Now, this is completely ethical. I'm not saying pretend you're a paying client and say, oh, Joseph got me a 3x return on my last ad, maybe $500,000. No, okay? That will be absolutely lying. What I'm saying is you can review each other's ads and you can still talk about the quality of the ads. You can give each other an honest, genuine review, right? So you could say, Dude, every time I see Joseph's ads, they just suck me right in. The guy knows the target avatar better than anyone else I've ever seen. I feel like he's been living in my bedroom closet my whole life. Copy's so compelling. I hardly ever watch ads, but it makes me watch until the very end. The visuals are on point. The inner workings of his brain is just, it's hard to come by. So if you're looking for a creative strategist and Joseph's available for hire, you better snag him while he's available. Some shit like that, you know what I mean? I'm just making stuff up, but you get the idea. You can talk about the actual quality of their copywriting, of their production, of the actual ads itself. Okay, so leave like a review. Now, where do you write this? Very simple. You could just write it over WhatsApp, over Messenger, something like that. And then you guys are going to screenshot each other's testimonials and you can use those on your website. The biggest thing is just take organic raw screenshots of where the testimonials are. Okay. So what you don't want to do is like just say you would have like when you write it yourself, when you basically take their words, copy paste it, and you say, Jacob was amazing to work with and his ads are the best, you know, in quotes, Sarah. That is mid. No one cares. Yeah, like this shit. If you write it like this, it's like, it's not that persuasive. You know what I mean? Because people know you could just write whatever you want here. You could have just made it up. Way better if you take a organic screenshot in the place where it actually happened, which is why I encourage you to send it over on WhatsApp or send it over on Messenger or something like that. And you want to just take a raw screenshot like this. So if you go to our page here, this is our main application funnel. I got my EA Gwine to dig through the 1,000 screenshots in our folder. There's literally 1,000 in Google Drive that were just sitting there collecting dust. I was like, I want you to put these all on a page. So as you can see, it's just a raw screenshot dump. It's not polished. It's not fancy. It's not edited. That's the whole point. It's as raw as humanly possible. It's just like, here's where it happened at the source and bang. And then it just scrolls literally forever. There's 1,000 of them, right? And it's, you can't possibly think that this was fake, right? It's just like, how many can I possibly show you before you're like, okay, I think this is real. I think this is legit. Versus if I just had, Sean is amazing, Daniel, it's like, okay, I could just be saying that about myself and making it up. So that's what I'm saying. Send it to them and then take a screenshot of what they said to you and then use that. You can use those on your anti-resume, in your outreach, in your follow-ups, pretty much everywhere where it helps you close. So in LinkedIn, you can endorse each other as well. This is something you can do. You can all connect with each other. Use this group to its advantage. The other members in there, you're all working together towards a common goal. So help each other, right? These aren't your adversaries. These are your allies. These are your team members, okay? So use each other, help each other to level up. Partner with each other, swap testimonials, endorse each other's skills on LinkedIn, connect with each other on LinkedIn, add each other, and then endorse each other's skills, right? You do that with like 20 people, 30 people. Then all of a sudden, a hiring manager goes to your profile because you had a fantastic anti-resume. They look at your LinkedIn profile real quick. You got a strong hero shot, good profile picture, you're positioned well, all the things we talk about in week 7 of CMB. Very simple like cover image, a banner that you can make in a minute with Nano Banana inside of Claude, Higgsfield, whatever. And then you have a bunch of skills that are endorsed, like creative strategy, advertising, meta ads, copywriting, paid social. So you're just going to make all of those skills, and then you're going to have the others come in and just hit endorse, 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 endorse. And now you have tons of people endorsing you for the skill. You look very credible. And you have 3 recommendations, which are these testimonials here, that you're going to have the person paste on your LinkedIn as well. So therefore, you now look really good. You look credible. Immediately, you go from total noob, like unproven, blank slate, to, oh, this person has something going for them, right? Now, you don't have results for clients yet, but you're on the drawing board at least. Like, you got some proof going for you now. So we can move on to the next rung of the ladder. What this is going to be is, we call this ethical job buddies. What is this? This is a bit cheeky, but it works. This is on Upwork, okay, specifically. Now, problem with being a beginner is, realistically, you have everything going against you. Okay, you don't have experience, you don't have results, you don't have proof, you don't have track record. So we got to fight dirty in the beginning, okay? As long as it's legal and it's ethical and it's moral, I'm okay with it, okay? But you have to think outside the box. You have to attack the game in a different way if you want a chance of competing with someone with 10 years of experience. The easiest way to move up the ladder is what we call ethical job buddies. Okay, so what this is you basically, once again, you're going to form groups of about 3 people, 4 people, and you hire each other on Upwork in a nice little circle for around about, we'll call it $300 to $500 projects. And you hire each other for a real project. You're going to actually make ads for each other. So let's say, who's here on this call? We'll say Brandon has a client or a spec brand or something, and then Lexi has a client or a spec brand or something, okay? So Alex is going to make ads for Brandon's client, Brandon's going to make ads for Lexi's client, Lexi's going to make ads for Alex's client, something like that, okay? In a nice little loop or a circle. You're going to charge roughly $300 to $500 each, and because you're cycling the money between you, no one's actually out of pocket any money apart from the Upwork fees. Okay, so you make an Upwork hiring account. I recommend you use a different email, and then you just hire each other in a circle. But as long as it's a real project, what I'm not saying is gaming the system. You will get banned, okay, if you try and do some shit like hiring yourself or just anything that's kind of like sketchy or shady or against the terms of service. I'm not saying to do that. I'm saying hire each other to make an ad. Okay, it could be literally one ad for $500. Great. Make it an amazing ad for them. And then it's maybe 30 minutes of work or something. You get $500, $500, $500. Cool, now you've earned $1,500 on the platform. So there's two things we're trying to accomplish here. The first one is we want to get 3 5-star reviews. Plus, we want to have $1,000 earned on the platform. Because that's a filter that when hiring managers, when people go to hire off of Upwork, that's one of the filters that they can tick is has earned at least $1,000 on the platform. That's one that I commonly tick. So for me, the ones I always tick when I go to hire off of Upwork are conversational in English and basically top rated, so 5-star reviews, or I think 80% job completion score or something like that, at least 80, 90%, which obviously you guys are going to have 100% if you've done this. And then at least $1,000 earned. There's also $10,000 earned, which sometimes I tick as well, but unless you're willing to cycle $5,000 between each other, then you can do that if you want to, but up to you. So at least 1,000, that's easy. You might lose $50 in fees or whatever after $1,000 of money cycled between you, but it's a pretty small price to pay. So what we've now accomplished is congrats. You now have some solid testimonials for your site, your Answer resume, your LinkedIn, and you have real world job success in the eyes of Upwork, projects that are completed. Assuming the work deserves 5 stars, then you can leave each other a 5-star review, and then $1,000 earned on the platform. So you're now positioned as, hey, not so much of a beginner anymore. You see how we're moving up the proof ladder here, and we're becoming like, oh, okay, this person seems like they could be a pretty good creative strategist who could help me, right? Now we're ready to actually get paid. The reason we choose Upwork, I've poo-pooed on Upwork a lot in the past, and I like to make fun of it. However, nowadays I've changed my tune a little bit. Okay, I'm a little bit more friendly and forgiving of Upwork now. There are actually some pretty decent client opportunities on there nowadays. So not everyone is a cheapskate like before. Okay, there's actually a lot of people who are willing to invest in decent creative strategists and pay multiple 4 figures for creative strategists on Upwork. Reason being, if you guys are wondering why creative strategy charges and earns so much more than email copywriting ever did, the main reason is because it's a job that they're spending money on for ads. Okay, because they're spending money on the ads, the human brain goes, okay, I'm already investing money into advertising. So therefore, I need someone who's good at this because they're going to be commanding all this ad spend, right? Or their results are going to determine if my ad spend is wasted or if it's multiplied. Therefore, they don't mind investing a lot more into a creative strategist. The psyche with email, although you could argue email is absolutely just as impactful and important. And if you get it right, you can make literally hundreds of thousands of dollars a month from your email list. But business owners just don't value it as much because they think, oh, well, email marketing is basically free. They kind of view it on the same level as like posting on social media. It's like, oh, it's free to do, therefore it's not that valuable. They're not thinking in terms of the upside, which is you could also make fucking millions of dollars if you do it right. They unfortunately just don't really think like that. So that's why creative strategists typically, the retainers are much higher. So what we can now do, because we have some proof here, is you can land 500 to 5K projects on Upwork once again. So what you're going to do, you're going to search for people who are hiring a creative strategist and you're going to apply, okay? You're going to put in proposals and try and land some of these jobs. Now, could you skip straight to 5 to 10K a month retainers? Yeah, sure, absolutely. You can try that. But the goal here of this rung is to get some real world tangible proof of your ads getting results for people. Okay, so this is the hard proof. We have soft proof, aka like qualitative proof, like people saying good things about you. What we're looking for now is tangible, concrete, hard proof of results. So when those big boys ask you, hey, tell me about your ad performance, you have a screenshot to show them. That's what we're trying to get here. We're trying to get that almighty screenshot where it's like, I worked with this 7-figure brand, I worked with this 8-figure brand, 9-figure brand, whatever. They ran my ads, they spent this much on the ads, and they made this much back on the back end, okay? Here's proof, here's a screenshot. That will do wonders for your career. I can't stress it enough, the difference having proof makes. That ad made 2 sales off the back of the webinar. So one of his ads had a 42x ROAS, and the second ad had a 48x return on ad spend, okay? There was Anthony, his ad got 101x return on ad spend, which is nuts. I've never seen anything like that. So his ad literally spent $7 in total. It got one person to join the webinar. That one person ended up booking a call and joining our program, which is funny. Then it spent $750, I believe. It was like some super extended payment plan that we don't normally offer. But Right there. He basically turned $700 into $750, which is pretty cool. So there you go. And because now they have that screenshot, and I sent it to them in the chat, and I was like, hey guys, I think you might have the highest performing ads I've ever run in my life. I've never seen anything like this. Screenshot. He takes that and he sends it to prospects who were previously ghosting him. And then those people immediately, both of them turn around and they're like, all right, you're pretty good at this. Let's talk. One of those two people immediately hired Arian on the spot for a $500 trial. And the other one was like, yeah, let's work together. Let's get on a call. That's the difference that having proof makes, okay? It's so critical. The only important thing that I really want to stress, once again, this comes back to my rant at the beginning of this call. Number one rule in marketing, who can tell me what it is in the chat? Okay, research, message match, offer, know your audience. Wrong. Thank you, Sean. Don't be boring. Oh, goodness. Don't be boring, okay? Yes, critical. Don't be boring. It's the number one rule of marketing. If you want to see this for yourself, go make a profile on Upwork, pretend you are a hiring manager, just make an account. You're going to have to make one anyway to hire each other. And then just go type in creative strategist, go put up a freaking job post yourself, and look at all the applications that you're getting. Literally 90% of them sound exactly the same. Like the first line, legit word for word, is your brand doesn't have an X problem, it has a Y problem. Something like that. Okay, some generic AI shit. And then the rest of it is just absolutely fucking college textbook, put me to sleep, induce me with a coma, level, boring, vanilla copy, okay? It's just like, talking about, it's all about you. It's like, oh yeah, I help brands with ideation and research and scripting. It's like, bro, show, don't tell. Demonstrate your skills in your actual bio and in your proposals. For the love of God, at least take 30 seconds to 60 seconds out of your life and write a personalized first line, an opener. Something about them, something about their ads or their posts or their business or their brand or their company or something that stands out. The whole point is like they just sift through dozens of like literal carbon copy clones of the same person, the same application, the same shit. And then they should get to you and they should think, oh God, finally a breath of fresh air. That's what they want, okay? The sentence you want them thinking is, oh my God, this person gets it. Oh, thank you. That's what you want. That's what their reaction should be when they see your message, when they see your bio, when they see your proposal. Oh, thank God, this person gets it. They understand the game. They get the game. Okay, the game is about attention. It's about being entertaining. It's about standing out, getting the attention of your target prospect. I'm not saying be a clown for the sake of it, although it's certainly better than what most people are doing. But it's like, be interesting, be entertaining, grab their attention. That's what a great ad does. You guys all tell me in the chat. I'd be very curious to know. What is your favorite ad of all time? What is an ad you've seen before where you're like, that's a banger ad. That's a memorable ad. Let me know. First ad that comes to your mind. If I'm like, what's one of your favorite ads? You guys all want to be creative strategists, right? So you should probably be studying advertising. Typically when I ask this, the common answers that I get are Old Spice, Five Gum, Apple's 1984 commercial, Dollar Shave Club. Those are like common answers that I get. And it's like, yeah, what do they all have in common? What do all those ads have in common? Let me know in the chat. Yeah, the Dr. Squatch ads, they're great as well. They're interesting. They're different. Yes, exactly. They stand out. They're entertaining. They're just different. It's a pattern interrupt. It's like, what the fuck? There's a black guy on a horse and now he has a bunch of diamonds. Now he's on a beach. What's going on? They're not boring. Yes, exactly. That's the whole point. And it's like, they're standout. They're kind of over the top. They're a little bit insane, ludicrous, right? And it's like, yeah, that's the whole point of advertising, breakthrough advertising, standout advertising. It's like, by definition, the thing that makes something memorable is the fact that it's different from everything else. If it's the same as everything else, it's by definition not memorable, and it just blends in with the sea of everything else that gets forgotten immediately, right? So a lot of you guys are way too safe. You're way too boring with your ads itself, but then with the way you position and present yourself as well. You're all trying not to lose instead of trying to win. Okay, it's like you're playing defense. You're like, oh, I hope I don't like offend anyone or like be deemed as unprofessional. It's like, no, dude, your whole job is to be, I don't say unprofessional, but like out there. Like that's part of it. It's like, think about like a musician or something like that, like a rock star. You know, they're not wearing beige, boring, like office clothing. They're wearing ludicrous out there shit, purple, fucking flowy, like weird clothes, bunch of gold chains, like that sort of shit. You know, it's just like, there's nothing professional about it. It's a game of attention grabbing. And that is what makes you a professional, actually, is being someone who ruffles some feathers. Maybe you're a little bit controversial, a little bit out there. Make me feel some type of way, right? That's the job. So be interesting and you'll stand out and then you'll land jobs, okay? So if you have both of these going for you, number one, you stand out. You're interesting, you're unique, you're different. You're one of zero. It's the whole premise of the no-brainer hiring kit, okay? Be one of zero. You have that. And then you actually also have some substance too. So you have like some of these reviews and some testimonials and some like early results and some 5-star reviews and that sort of thing. You're a lethal combination. That's a lethal combination. That's what you want. Okay. If you just have the credibility, but then you're boring shit in the way you present yourself, then you'll never even get noticed or considered, right? If you only are really fun and interesting, but you don't have any credibility or substance, you'll probably get further. But at the end, you may ultimately not end up getting hired because you just don't have any actual like credibility or substance. When you have both, dude, it's so easy to get hired. It's just so easy. Brands are crawling over themselves, crawling over broken glass to try and land creative strategists right now. It's like a feeding frenzy out there. You just need to position yourself right. It's so easy to win, okay? Never been easier to win than it is right now. So we do this. We land a couple of 500 to 5K projects. What's next? Now we can start firing on job boards. So this is like LinkedIn jobs. So LinkedIn jobs, really great place. X, Twitter. My God, that's a great place. People are posting creative strategist gigs everywhere on Twitter. LinkedIn jobs, Meta ad library is a great one. For those of you guys in CMB, you have access to Inbox Hunter. And so that is a really, really freaking cool tool that will crawl the ads library for you and search any keywords you want. It will automatically sign up to all of their lists and then also generate a list of all of the URLs of businesses that are there. And you can then scrape that, put that into Claude and then say, hey, go find me all the email addresses. And then boom, now you can reach out to them. A lot of them will already be emailing you first because of the fact that you signed up to their list. It signed up to the lists for you. And then we call it reverse outreach. So job boards and reverse outreach basically is what you're now able to do to try and land the more juicy 5K, 8K, 10K, 12K a month retainers. Okay. So now we can try and land ourselves a fat old retainer because we got a result down here. Okay. So the whole point, the whole outcome that we're looking for here is just to get a result. The money is cool, but what we're looking for is to get a result. So what you can actually do when you're reaching out to these people here, you can literally just say to them, hey, I'll be honest. So maybe it's a $2,000 gig. They want a campaign launch. They want 30 ads. Okay, whatever, fine. Maybe you're happy with the money. Just say, hey, you know what? Normally my rate is $3,000 for this, but I'll tell you what, I am looking to gather proof. I'm looking to create a few more great case studies right now that I can use to build my freelancing career. So I'm willing to do it for your quoted price on the condition that you're cool with me using the results as a case study and that you give me a testimonial afterwards, assuming the ads perform well. Okay. So you make it a condition from the very beginning that's like, hey man, I'm willing to do this, but at a discount. Frame it as a discount, even if $2,000 is a lot for you, whatever. All prices are made up anyway. You guys understand that? Every single price in this universe is made up. It's just made up. Someone just put a number on a fucking page and that's the price. So you can make up a higher price. If you can make up $2,000, you can make up $3,000, right? So you can just say, hey, normally I charge $3,000 for this, but I'm willing to do it for $2,000 because I want the testimonial and I want the case study. So you make it clear from the beginning, I want results. I want that screenshot of proof of results. You can remain anonymous if you want to. If you don't want me to say what your brand is, totally cool. I'll blur it out. I just want that fucking Meta Ads Manager, sweet, juicy screenshot, okay? So you do that, you get it, and now it's not weird afterwards when you go to ask for it because that was part of the deal from the beginning. Now you have proof. Then, once again, you're going to leverage that shit everywhere. Everywhere you have. Your website, site, socials, anti-resume, your outreach messages, your follow-up. Great follow-up. That's a fantastic follow-up. Just send a screenshot of results. Hey, did this for the last ecom brand I worked with. Confident I can get you the same results. Hey, I'm going to sit up and pay attention if you send me that shit, all right? So now it's going to be infinitely easier to land yourself an actual proper 5 to 12K a month retainer. That's the goal of this phase, okay? And these are the average retainers that we're seeing right now that are being posted. Like people hiring creative strategists, typically around 5 to 12K a month is what most jobs are paying. And then from there, it's really simple. You get them great results, obviously. Okay, shouldn't need to say that. And then you rinse and repeat. You build a proof engine. And but honestly, this could just be enough to get you to 10K a month. But if not, maybe you just get 2 5K retainers and then you're at 10K a month. And you don't have to stop at 10. You can go from 10, you can go to 20, 30. You just keep riding this all the way up. It's a game of gather proof. That proof now allows you to get better clients who spend more money on ads, automatically make your results look better, even if you do nothing different. So if you write for a freaking tiny little brand who's making 30K a month, and you might make them 30K, which is a big fucking deal because that's like double what they were making before, but it's still only 30K. However, you could run those same ads for a brand who's maybe spending 50K a month, 60K, 100K, 500K a month on ads. Now maybe make them 300K instead of 30K just because they're spending 10 times more on ads. And now you're like, yeah, I made 300K for this brand last month. Huh, same deal. You go up again. Maybe they're spending $1 million a month on ads. You make them $3 million. from the same work. See what I mean? So basically, the more proof you get, the bigger clients you can get, and then the more impressive your case studies are because they're just simply spending more on ads. And so the numbers all go up. They all become bigger. And if you don't have like impressive metrics, what you guys also need to think of, like a lot of you guys are very limited in your thinking when you think of how you can use and leverage proof. A lot of you guys are thinking like, oh, well, I only made them this absolute dollar figure that's not that impressive. Like I only made them $9,000. What else, like how else can you frame it to be impressive? So what if you increased their baseline performance by 30%? What if you lowered their cost per lead by 40% or their cost per booked call, qualified booked call by 30%? Or, you got them an additional 12 qualified calls than they were getting before. It could be the ROAS itself. You increase their ROAS from like 2.2x to 4x. You basically just find like what is the most impressive metric. If I looked at this ads manager dashboard that the data says, maybe I cut their cost per booked call in half. For example, like with my webinar funnel, this is what I've been helping you guys with in CMB with the screenshots is like, here's what your ad did and produced, and maybe it made no sales. And that's fine because due to the nature of a webinar being a high ticket funnel, not that many people are going to get sales from it. There might be like 10 sales in total that we make, right? And there's 30 people's ads. Okay, cool. And then half of the sales come from my ads. So there's only 3, 4, 5 people that got a sale. But everyone else, that doesn't mean you can't use the proof. It doesn't mean it's useless. You still generated a whole bunch of qualified leads for a webinar. Maybe you could say my average cost per registration was $30. Well, if your ads generated sales for the webinar for $20, hey, you cut my cost per registration by, what is that? A third, right? 33%, you could say. Someone, Evelina, she got no sales, but she got people to book a call for $300, I believe. And I think the average for the campaign was about $600. So she can say, I cut Sean's cost per booked call in half. That's a true fact. That's a statement. She only booked 2 calls and they didn't result in sales. Sure. But you can still say, I cut this 7 figures businesses cost per qualified booked call in half. Fuck yeah. That's great. That would get me to sit up and pay attention. Be like, all right, you must know what you're doing. That's awesome. See what I mean? So you just want to leverage the proof in the best way that you can. Does that make sense? So you do this. Can everyone see now how you can start from absolute zero with literally no proof? And as long as you have the skills, okay, all of this relies on, obviously, I'm assuming you've invested in yourself and or you plan to learn the actual skill of creative strategy, or you have a background where you've done this before. So you know how to do meta ads, you know how to do research, ideation, scripting, production, basic media buying, all that sort of stuff. That if I was to throw a client into your lap, you could get results for them, okay? Which obviously, if you've been through CMB, then you got that covered. So assuming you can do that, the only then problem is like, I've never had a client before and never had results before. Like, how do I get people to trust me to pay me thousands of dollars? Okay. This is how you can go from literally no experience, no results, nothing. I have nothing to prove, nothing to show you, and systematically work your way up. You swap testimonials, you get them at the beginning. That then enables you to go swap jobs with each other. You can just skip to the second rung if you want to on Upwork. You hire each other, you get some great reviews, you make ads for each other. Now you're credible on the platform, you got $1,000 earned, etc. Then you move up one rung. Then that enables you to actually land some smaller projects on Upwork and get people to trust you with a little bit of money, a few $100s, maybe a couple grand, a few thousand. And then you just go and bigger step by step. And you gather proof at every step of the way. And then that proof unlocks the next level. And then now people are more willing to trust you with a retainer. Okay, and you can do this whole thing. You can speed run this entire pyramid in a matter of weeks. Like, how long does each of these things take? Swap testimonials. That's 30 minutes. This ethical job buddies thing, this might take you, 1 to 2 days. This, landing real jobs on Upwork, delivering, they run your ads, you get results. Maybe 2 weeks. This is why I want and encourage you to start with smaller projects. Okay, we're not actually trying to get big projects here. You're just trying to get like a little project that's a quick win. So maybe someone's launching a campaign. They just need 1 batch of ads. They're not looking for a retainer. They're looking for whatever. Awesome. That's a great one. Get in there, make ads, get results, get out, get the proof. Off you go. Now you can graduate. And then you're going to spend the rest of the time firing on job boards, X, LinkedIn jobs, outreach, etc. to land one of those juicy retainers. This might be like another 2 weeks. And bam, just like that, within basically 30 days, you've gone from no proof to you're now a 6-figure creative strategist. Happy days. Another great thing you guys can do is just offer anyone in your network who you know free ads. You don't have to do this on Upwork. You can literally just make a post on your socials, message anyone you know who runs a business, and literally just say, hey, would you like some free ads? Simple. In fact, better than that? Pre-bake the cookies. Say to them, hey, been following you for a while. Your ads keep popping up on my feed, so I can tell they must be doing well. I had a bit of time on my hands between client projects. I actually went ahead and I made you 3 free statics you can use and test based on research. I can see your ads are only hitting this angle here, but actually your market after a bit of research, they seem like they want this thing over here. Okay, your ads talk about performance in the gym, but actually it seems like what your market is starving for is they're struggling with a 3 p.m. energy crash. And that's what your supplement is not making any ads on. Okay, we call this the angle gap method. We have a video on this in the SKOOL group, and also it's on YouTube. You can see it as well. It's 9 minutes. It's called angle gap method. It's one of my most popular videos. It's about a month old. Watch that. Do that strategy. Do like a slight bit of research. You can use Claude to do all the research for you. Just literally put the prompt in Claude. It's in the SKOOL group below the video. And then let it cook for 30 minutes. And then that's it. Go off, do something else, come back. It's done with the research. And then cool. Now you reach out to the person. You can say, hey, been following you for a while. Your ads keep stalking me, whatever. Just some sort of personalized first line. And then you basically just say, hey, I know your ad is hitting on this. People actually want this. Their reaction should be, shit, why haven't we tested that? That's a really good insight. And then you hit them with the nuclear bomb, which is, by the way, I had some spare time between client projects and I actually went ahead and I made you 3 ads you can use and you can test that hit on this new angle that's proven that your market actually wants. All I ask for is that you are cool with me using it as a case study if they perform well. If you're cool with that, then let me know and I'll send them over. That's all you got to do. And then as soon as they say, yeah, I'm cool with that, you go make the ads, okay? So you pretend you made them, you haven't really made them, but in reality, it's the same thing, okay? Because if you can make them quickly and send them over, to them, there's zero difference. If you've made them or if you make them quickly, it's the same thing in reality, okay? So because they're statics, they're really quick and easy to make. And that way, because you're using the frame of, I want to make sure you're cool with this deal first, you're cool with me giving you a case study before I release the ads to you, okay? You're basically pretending they're an escrow. They just haven't been created yet. Fair enough. Whatever, it's all good. And then you say, cool, I'll go send them over now. And then make them and send them over quickly. That's all you got to do. It's so easy, okay? That's as easy as it is. And then it's a great offer. Who doesn't want free ads? I got a spec brand. So when I was coming up with CMB, I was like, hey, I want to pick like an e-com brand because I don't have an e-com store, right? I'm a coach. So I'm like, okay, I want a brand to use as an example for all of our trainings in CMB, but I don't have an e-com brand. So I posted it in a WhatsApp group that I'm in full of business owners. I was like, hey, does anyone want free ads? I'll make you free ads if you are cool with me using you as basically like a case study in my program where I'm teaching creative strategists. And I had 5 people message me within 10 minutes. It's so easy. Everyone wants free ads. Who doesn't want free ads? It's so risk-free because it's like if the ads suck, they don't have to run them. And even if they do run them and they suck, Meta's probably not going to spend on them anyway. So the nightmare scenario everyone's worried about where it's like, oh, what if they spend a lot of money on my ads? They don't make any sales. It's like Meta's not going to spend on the ads if they suck. And it's at the client's discretion anyway if they're going to run the ads or not. So that's not really a concern. And they're launching and testing new ads and spending on them all the time anyway. And they have losers all the time anyway. 95% of ads are losers. It is what it is, right? Most ads aren't winners. Maybe 3 to 5% of ads are actually winners. And it's about testing to find those winners. So you're just helping them get to the winners faster. And you're basing the ad off of proven research of what your market actually wants. So the ads are actually really quite likely to perform and they're free. And all you're asking for is a case study or a testimonial, which by the way is actually going to increase your conversion rate rather than just saying free ads. People always want an exchange. It always needs to be an exchange. So if you're going to offer things for free, never just say, hey, would you like free ads? They're more likely to say no because they're like, what's the catch? What's in it? There's like always a hidden catch. It's the same reason why if you're walking down the street and there's people handing out flyers, right? There's people like free Uber Eats vouchers or free random flyers or strip club flyers or whatever the fuck, free shit. Why do most people turn the flyers away? Let me know in the chat. Why do you think? It's free food. Yet most people don't take the flyer from the stranger. Why? Yeah, exactly, Pascal. Because you know there's a catch. What's the catch? Nothing's truly free. You're not just going to give me free food. You know they want to pitch you something. Or I don't want to feel indebted towards you. It's reverse reciprocity, basically. You see what I'm saying? It's like, I know if you offer me free pizza, I'm going to feel like I owe you something and that I have to buy some pizza afterwards, right? People hate that feeling of like guilt that I owe you something. So it's easier to reject the free offer. Do you understand? This is a critical understanding you need to have if you're going to offer people free ads. Instead, there has to be an exchange, okay? When there's an exchange, then people understand your ulterior motives. They understand why you're doing it. They understand what's in it for you. When they understand that, now they can be open and transparent, and now they don't feel that feeling of reciprocity, okay? Because you get something and I get something. Okay, we both get something out of this. Therefore, I don't feel guilty anymore. It's a clean deal. It's a clean exchange. It's like I paid you for it. There's no like overarching hanging guilty feeling. Oh, you're doing it so you can get a case study. That's what you want out of this. I get free ads out of it. Okay, cool. That's a fair deal. And it will convert higher. Promise. That, my friends, is how to go from beginner to creative strategist, making 10 grand a month in as little as 30 days, starting from zero.